Now you can go looking for your son, or you can come with me to the coast. Either way, you're probably not getting off this island alive. I'm John Renton with the Retro View of Jurassic Park 3 from 2001, where Steven Spielberg said, "Adios, I'm out of here. I'm going to go do better movies with blackjack and hookers and possible Academy Awards," even though Jurassic Park 1, one of the most iconic movies, at least of the last 40 or so years, and one of Spielberg's best. Imagine how much territory that covers. And then there was The Lost World Jurassic Park. That was certainly a Spielberg movie. Joe Johnston stepped in the director's chair and promptly shat all over it, and then defecated in other ways all over it, using other people's shit to basically just take a giant dump on the Jurassic Park franchise. That's actually unfair because this movie is a bite-sized chunk of a Jurassic Park movie. It looks like one. It's wearing the skin and scales of one, but unfortunately, even though it has two legacy characters, it doesn't have anything else going for it. Now, I didn't actually mind Jurassic Park 3 when I originally watched it, and even watched it a number of years ago, but in the lead up to Jurassic World Rebirth, it apparently needs to be a thing, for whatever reason. I still got to revisit the trilogy with Chris Pratt. Oh joy, oh bliss. But before that, Joe Johnston, what did he do? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, he did Jumanji, he did The Rocketeer. It's a vastly underappreciated movie. He did The Wolfman. Not Wolfman, he did The Wolfman. It was really, really, really bad, despite having Benicio del Toro and Anthony Hopkins in it. He also did Captain America. This had 3 writers. I want you to remember that. This 84-minute film had 3 writers. And by Christ, can you tell? Peter Buckman, who did Aragon, which, look, I love Rachel Weisz, and they had a good cast, but yeah, Aragon was a little bit messy. It had 2 guys, Jim Taylor, who did Election and Sideways, and elections can go sideways no matter what country you're in, and Alexander Payne, who did Election and Nebraska. The film project, not the actual state, even though I think one person in Nebraska is entirely too many. So, legacy characters, Alan Grant, Dr. Alan Grant, that is, Sam Neill, had to wear this shirt. By the way, if you have not seen Possession, you want to see Sam Neill in a role that absolutely fucked him up to the point he needed therapy. Watch Possession. So you also have Laura Dern returning as Ellie. Returning in the sense she's in like 3 scenes. And you have William H. Macy as Paul Kirby. You have his wife, Amanda, played by Tia Leone. Estranged wife, whatever. I'd want to be estranged from Tia Leone. I don't know why I don't like her. I just don't. And you have other characters such as Billy, Don't Be a Hero, played by Alessandro Novella. I would have rather had a telenova at this point. And Trevor Morgan, who plays Eric. Look up Trevor Morgan's filmography. You might be surprised. Yeah, so Jurassic Park 3, they go to Site B after Eric and a friend end up stranded after a parasailing accident goes totally tits up on a very, very foggy island. I don't remember that much fog in the second movie, but whatever. It's been a couple weeks since I've seen it. So, this had a $93 million budget. $30 million higher than the 1993 classic, and $20 million higher than Lost World. That would be $168.5 million in today's money, a $50.7 million opening, $91.8 million in today's money, 181.1 million U.S. gross. That would be $328.2 million in today's money, $368.7 million worldwide gross, $668 million in today's money. And pretty much because of those diminished box office returns, yes, it did well. Obviously, it made its budget back. It did basically twice it, or almost twice its budget in the U.S., and even with marketing costs and distribution and stuff like that, it still made a mint. But it was obvious that the blood was out of the turnip, so they went with another trilogy later, where they got more billions, but also less, they had less good writing. They just had more dinosaurs. So, yeah, the parasailing accident was all kinds of fun. You're going to need a stupider boat. These green screen effects are terrible. I don't remember this movie looking this bad, and I had it on Blu-ray on a pretty good TV. This TV back here, and also the fact my Blu-ray player is pretty updated, and my God. So, yeah, Eric and his friend are stranded. Oh no. Well, his friend actually ends up dead, or a family friend. I actually forget what the guy's name was, and I don't necessarily care. So Alan and Alan and Ellie end up, reuniting. Obviously, there's still some feelings there, but Alan realizes Ellie has her life, a couple kids, two very annoying kids that look like they're part of the master race, that is. But nevertheless, Alan is keeping up on dinosaurs. He is interested in the fact that raptors used to communicate with each other and talk and everything, and this won't factor into the finish of this film. Why would you think that? So he says, I'm the last of my breed. Okay. Well, was it just like one genetic strain of Dr. Grant's, and this is the last, genetic mutation? So Raptor Studies speech doesn't go all that well. They have to shut down their whole thing in just a few weeks. And there's a guy named Billy. Again, don't be a hero. Who's like the understudy of Dr. Grant. He helps a girl feel some bones. I could make some jokes, but I run a clean show and would never be necessarily even close to sexist like that. So basically, Paul Kirby shows up, says, hey, we're part of Kirby Enterprises. We want to pay to have you take us here because we want to do some sightseeing. Well, they mistake the fact that he was actually on the original island, not on Site B, but nevertheless, that 2000s, early 2000s computer tech that they showed just before they take off for the island, and they can make a 3D model of a raptor's skull, but especially the piece where they make noise. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen later. So, Kirby basically says, we'll take you. We want to go do this. Something seems off, such as the fact, I believe the guy, one of the pilots that, Udeski, I believe is the name of the character. I think he was the one that got fried when they didn't wet the sponge in the Green Mile. I didn't write the guy's name down, but he's a pretty good character actor. So, yeah, they're flying around and everything, and they're going to land this plane. But Grant doesn't want them to land this plane, and then somebody punches him. One of their hired thugs that they apparently have. More on how they got those hired thugs here in a second. The Kirbys are looking for Ben, who was the family friend, and also Eric, who's their son. Well, the plane is toast because they try to take off and they end up hitting a forest and everything. They can't see the forest through the plane trees. And, well, the dino effects are really goofy. Really, really goofy. The dino violence is really goofy. And I remember liking this, again, more than I did this time. Yes, early 2000s CGI maybe doesn't hold up all that well, but look at 1991 Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Look at that. That mostly holds up. Yes, there's some ridiculous stuff, but it was mostly smooth. This looked bad even back then. I just had rose-tinted asses. I think that's how that's said. But it's a rescue mission. They should rescue the writers from themselves at this point. The paycheck is bogus because they actually own a furniture shop somewhere in Oklahoma, I guess. And Eric is on his own, going down the only road he's ever known. And actually is a better survivor than most anybody in these movies. Raptor eggs. Well, that's not good that they found a whole bunch of raptor eggs. Thankfully, nobody took any. Billy took some. Billy took some eggs, by the way. And there are genetically mutated dinosaurs. That won't factor into anything later on, such as genetic dinosaurs taking over the world. And I noted that the raptors sound like very, very congestedly, inept pigeons. Why do I make it sound like that? I don't know. So, at one point, they get separated because you got to keep them separated. Hey, they see the raptors' patterns. Smoke bomb! No, not Krieger. Eric is here. He has some supplies the engine left behind because apparently they had more stuff that they left behind. And now he's able to... He's rescued Dr. Grant. They eat some supplies, but they have to go out and they have to basically, find a way to get to the coast. And don't worry, everything's going to be all right. They're not going to reunite until they reunited like almost instantly after they got out of the whole thing. Oh yes, and they keep hearing the satellite phone ringing. It's in the stomach of the finned dinosaur. There are some compies there that they show briefly. Compies will help you sleep by chewing you to death. So, Yeah, the reunion's like really, really quick. Like, I mean, I know the movie's only 84 minutes. But I'm like, we could have stretched this out a little. So they end up in this one on this bridge. um, going around something that are in the structure. It turns out it's a bird cage. Oh, great, great. We're gonna get that movie again. The bird cage was weird, very weird. And I don't know how nobody knew Nathan Lane was gay before that movie, or at least the vast majority didn't seem to. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying it's kind of obvious. So, Billy earlier had fixed up the parasailing deal and, was doing that to try and rescue Eric, which he did. But then he inadvertently ends up in the river, ends up getting attacked. He's fucked. He's totally dead. So Billy is just torn apart. Oh my god, it is horrible. Oh, the humanity. Oh, the scaled down violence. Doesn't rhyme, I don't care. Very foggy. Again, I don't remember it being this foggy on this island the first time around. So, they get on the boat, the Dino boat. They have a little bit of a sightseeing tour, and then the dinosaurs show up. They get put in a cage. The cage goes underwater, but not before Dr. Grant uses the satellite phone to call Ellie. And Ellie, they call her Big Ellie. That is a reference I would not expect, and nobody would expect from a white guy that's in his mid-40s. But she manages to get some reinforcements there somehow very quickly. And they basically end up having to give the raptor eggs back. And that's it. Then they get rescued by all the military in the goddamn world that just came for this one rescue mission. Oh yes, and Billy's alive. And pterodactyls are taking off to lay their eggs elsewhere where, yay, we're going to get dinosaurs going other places. Good thing that doesn't carry over to the next trilogy. Oh, it does. So anyway, yeah, that's Jurassic Park 3. Not much to it. I mean, really, not much to it. A lot of snarky dialogue, but just without a lot of bite. Ironic for a movie that has dinosaurs in it. Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Rentlin, and I'll see you soon.